My name is Paul. I am the CTO here at dice.com. This hamster is Jeff. Jeff is going to jump off there. Oh, he jumped into the T. And with me today is Mark, who is VP of Technology Operations here at DHI. That is Andy. Oh, you got Andy. You're going to swallow Andy? Yep. All right. See you, Andy. We're going to have to come up with a new hamster name. We are going to talk a little bit about jobs at Stripe. They are a featured company today. Stripe is a company who is relatively new, actually founded in 2010. They are basically a FinTech company, and they really did lean into understanding that more and more credit card transactions and those kinds of transactions are going to happen in the back. And by building simple APIs for developers to build into, to enable kind of e-commerce and all the rest of it, that's going to help them build it. And I think there was a little bit of a gap between some of the more traditional credit card companies and their abilities to understand how to digitize the product. So Stripe kind of lent in there a little bit. It's incredibly likely that you as a consumer have used Stripe, even though you didn't know it.
That's right.
It's one of those things that happens in the background.
Happens in the background.
Yeah,
that's right.
It does happen in the background. Stripe is a comprehensive payment solution for online payments. It's known for simplicity, flexibility, and as I said, robust developer tools. And we've talked about how do you present your business in the future. APIs and the ability to enable people connect to you becomes more and more important as you go. And then, as they went from simple online transactions, a lot of other things come along there, managing subscriptions, handling complex transactions, and all the rest of it has come there. I don't know whether this is Stripe. I don't think it is, and maybe Toast and Stripe are the same. They're probably different, but I have really come to appreciate restaurants recently that leave you a QR code on the check, and then you can zippy zap scan it, and you can pay with Apple Pay, and then you're gone. No more of that waiting awkwardly with the credit card for the people to come back and get it.
That's right.
Much better.
That's very good.
Yeah.
Stripe is interesting. They're an innovator in the fintech space, and some of that I wonder if it comes with the born on cloud type innovation that happens when you develop your services straight on cloud. But interestingly enough, they have Stripe Elements, which help for UI design and checkout. Then they have Stripe Billing, Stripe Tax, Stripe Radar for fraud, as finance transactions have a lot of fraud. Then they have Stripe Atlas for helping you with legal and compliance issues, and then and just getting set up. And then they have Stripe Financial, and then Stripe Data Pipeline.
Very interesting. Now, you're probably wondering, because I'm wondering now, what does Stripe run on? So when we pull up the jobs, I think we'll be able to infer whether Stripe is running on cloud-born technologies or Microsoft Access, because there are businesses that just start and end up running on Microsoft Access and you don't know it until it's too late. So like cryptocurrency businesses that run on Excel.
That's right. And Access is still around.
Microsoft Access is still around. All right. So let's have a look. We'll look at some jobs for Stripe, and we'll see if we can figure out what technology they're using underneath, shall we?
Yes.
Software engineer. This would be a good start if you're wanting to know what you're going to get into. Let's figure out what skills are required and what technology is running underneath here, and then we can figure it out. Okay, so this is a software engineer and the finance engineering team. So this may not be the product organization. This could be the financial controls inside the business. So we may not be able to infer too much, but we write high quality code mainly in Scala, Java, JavaScript. But I also saw Kafka, Apache Kafka up here. And then let's have a look what else is in here. BI, Apache Spark. So I'm thinking it looks like they might be leaning towards some open source technology in their internal business systems. So
yeah, definitely so. But it just looks like this person is going to help with the products that get created, probably testing, what are the new features. Yeah.
It's interesting because, and I know this from personal experience, there is a little bit of an interesting relationship often between the product engineering teams who drive the products and then go and acquire income and revenue from customers, and the internal finance teams who tend to be a little bit more around the analytics and have a lot of constraints around how they want to report the financials. I don't know. It doesn't say if, I think Stripe's still a private company. Maybe we can have our team check on that. But certainly as fintech companies and these startups move from being private into public, changes a lot of the requirements around reporting and how you kind of have to, you have to handle customer revenue. So we're going to ask the team whether or not Stripe is a private unicorn or a public company. They're going to find out in just a second. So what we should do is we should have a picture of a unicorn or a picture of Scrooge McDuck swimming in a sea of money if it's private.
That could happen.
Yeah, we'll figure that out. All right.
Yep. And Stripe does a lot of partnerships as well with different companies. So that when I did some research on them, they have some good partnerships like with Uber and other companies to kind of create services that those companies might not find in traditional methods. And so they are evolving that. So that's kind of interesting.
It is. And if you've lived in a consumer oriented applications software setting, you will often find when you pick underneath it, lots of companies use a lot of the same infrastructure at the bottom, right? I mean, because no one's going to build their own credit card processing platform. So Stripe's been definitely a software organization that has been at the forefront of, again, creating a good development set of tools that will run that. So, all right, let's look at the next one. Data analyst. We'll figure out if this is on the product side or whether it's internal again. Full-time, San Francisco. Let's have a look to see if this is, it doesn't, it says on-site. So again, I think we're back into somebody that's going to be in the office. This is a role. Let's have a look if it's within the finance team or whether it's on the product side. Does it really say? No, okay. You'll be partnering with teams across Stripe to ensure users and products and business have models and data that use. So, most companies strive to have a single source of truth for operational, financial, and product data, and often building out data lakes or data warehouses. This sounds like it's a role where, as a data analyst, you will be helping, because putting the data in is one thing, getting out and understanding what it means is another thing completely.
That's for sure.
And usually the data analyst role kind of sits between the operating side of the business and product and the data that's in the data lake or data warehouse to try and actually show kind of what you can learn from it. And it's becoming increasingly important because we talk a lot about data-driven organizations where you need people that can understand the data from there. So,
yeah, absolutely. Definitely something that helps you figure out whether or not your, product is doing what it needs to do. Looking at the metrics.
Yep, it is. Yeah. Solid role, I would say. Data analyst, if you love data and charts.
Right.
Well, charts. All right, next one. Engineering manager, document database. Yes. So, lots of organizations, maybe you're newer in your career in technology, at some point, at some point, I'm going to put my hat back on for this one. At some point, you realize that all organizations have a lot of documents. Documents are all over the place. Contract documents, employment documents, documents for product, documents for the engineering team, documents for keeping a track of where all the other documents are. I mean, you need a meta document, right, with all the documents. So at some point, you're going to have to build a document database. And just to show you how important this is, because you might be wondering, is it really important? This compensation runs up to $330,000 to think about documents.
That's right. Because you're thinking about 43,000 documents per person.
43,000 documents a person. That's a lot of documents to handle. So it doesn't surprise me. And then on top of that, I'm pretty sure that this kind of document database here is going to be directly in line with the product. So this needs to be real time. It needs to be highly available. It probably needs to be scalable. And shall I pause and you can read the actual job responsibilities? Now I've made all that up, and tell us what they actually need to do.
I mean, that's a lot of stuff on there, but basically you're working with engineering teams. This is talk about helping them with their careers and fostering, but basically driving the roadmap and strategic direction of the product, right? So, I mean, I think that's important.
What's your favorite tool to make a document in?
A document? Word.
My favorite tool, no surprise, PowerPoint. You can't beat a nice PowerPoint document.
Oh, a presentation.
Now,
yes.
But is it PowerPoint a presentation, or is it still a document, right?
It is. It's an artifact is what I would call it. But yeah, I think it's one of those things where, and there's a term for it, where the name of the item is now synonymous with every presentation. So create a PowerPoint.
Why is it, do you think? I'm just going to pause for a second and complain to Microsoft for 1 second. Why is it, do you think, that even though we've had documents in Word and PowerPoint and Excel and all the rest of it for how many years now? Like 30 years?
Yeah, at least.
You can't pull out the attributes like author, age as an object on the document. You can't, there's no API to do that. Why is that?
So
Mark.
Because I code in that,
Yeah.
I can pull it out.
All right,
Yeah.
Well, okay. So maybe there is.
So,
I just don't know how to do it.
You can.
Fine.
And if you try
All
to do it on an email, and I say an email is not even right. The number of objects that come into Outlook right now is just crazy. And you can pull all of that information too.
Do you know how many emails I have in my email box that are unread?
Just to be clear, they're not all emails.
Oh, all right. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
That's part of the 43,000 objects.
Yeah, exactly.
So willy-nilly.
So many.
All right. Genericization.
Oh, that's the thing. That's the word that I was talking about, where somebody says, "Hey, give me a Coke," but it's really,
I
a
see.
Pepsi
Yeah,
or
I'm
some
with
other
you.
kind of
Okay, fair
soda.
enough.
So yeah.
All right. Okay. All right.
So creating a PowerPoint is presentation document.
Right.
Yeah.
Now we've got excited about documents. I might look at this actually. I'd like to just work as a document database engineering manager. It sounds interesting. Let's look at the next
it's
one.
important.
Backend API engineer. I'll take off the hat again. It's getting hot.
Oh, I wonder if they're going to create that database so that they can upload it into their version of ChatGPT.
I bet they probably are.
Well, that's it. That's actually a use case that I see that people are learning. I recently helped chair the last TAI CIO roundtable.
Yep.
And that was one of the things that a company is doing is they're taking all of their legal documents and loading it into a model so that they can just ask their model questions. They put a UI on the front of it, like a ChatGPT UI, and so they can just type in questions, and it will search through all their documents and return an answer for them.
Do you know how cute it would be is if the user interface was a Teddy Ruxpin? That could be our next iteration. After kids, we'll just provide one for lawyers.
That's right. And you probably could just put an Amazon Echo device inside of a teddy bear and go with it. Like, I think the Teddy Ruxpin did a bunch of other stuff too. Didn't its mouth move in a very mechanical way?
Why aren't there covers for Amazon Echoes? I know that you can get the round ones.
Yeah,
that's the tube ones.
That's a
like
great
a tube
business.
sock.
That's right.
Let's do that. We just we need. If anyone knows anyone that makes socks for a living, let us know. We're going to make Amazon tube covers in various,
Yes. Colors.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right.
Great.
Backend API supportability intelligence. Ooh. So I think we might have to read the job description because I don't really understand what this is supposed to be doing. Okay.
Here we go. Technology to enable legal and legitimate new business opportunities.
Protect Stripe's reputation among our partners. Okay. So
blocking bad actors.
If you are a finance organization, you are probably in the crosshairs of organizations that want to take advantage of that.
For sure.
You're building an API which takes magic credit card numbers and deposits real cash in the bank. I'm imagining that there's quite a few people out there wondering, I wonder if I could knock something together that goes to the dark web, scrapes credit cards off and just runs them right the way through, grabs the money and then ditches. So I imagine also that there's quite a lot of compliance, security, and blocking bad actors opportunities inside Stripe. And this honestly is an area that, isn't just limited to financial organizations. More and more, that problem of digital identity and knowing who you're dealing with is something that all businesses are going to have to deal with at some point. So.
Yeah. And lacks in a lot of cases industry APIs to figure that out.
They do.
Probably for good reason.
They do. Unless you're working on one of those scanny globes that we've talked about before that zaps your eyes. And
yes. Yeah. There you go. Zapping eyes.
Last job, full stack engineer. And then we're at the very end, we're going to reveal if Stripe's private or public. We'll figure that out. Full stack engineer, right. MMS user experience, multimodal systems. No. What do you think MMS stands for?
MMS user. It's probably their software. I don't know.
Mobile something.
This one looked like it had a similar salary as the last one.
Let's keep going. Let's see if we can figure out. All right. So this does probably look like it might be mobile. Because I'm seeing some things in here that might lead us to conclude. Oh no, here you go.
Movement and storage.
Okay. Money movement and storage user experience team builds the UI that Stripe users go through to manage and move money within Stripe. That is obviously a core part of the product team. Now we can figure out what they have at the back because this should tell us, right? It looks like I don't want to reveal the secrets of Stripe, but SAP could be in the middle of it.
Somehow.
Just saying off the skills I see.
That is correct.
Yeah. So, which is better than Microsoft Access, which is where we'd started.
For sure.
If you're an SAP expert and you want to know about money and money management and storage, this would be a great place to go here. Do you think it's possible? There's a trope in films that's been used quite a lot where a software engineer scrapes off a tiny percentage of transactions and stuff in their own pocket. Do you think this is the kind of job where you could get away with that?
I don't think you can get away with it.
I mean, you could become a trillionaire.
You could try.
Let's
just be clear, because the job that we reviewed previous to this is designed to go after and figure out that you're doing that.
Yeah. And I don't think going into a job to steal is a good idea.
No, definitely not. You know what I thought was really cool about this one is, how many times over the weekend do you talk about, hey, what it is that you do? And here you could say, you know what, my company's mission is to increase the GDP of the internet.
Well, that's pretty fancy. And then then the 12-year-old you're talking to is going to ask you, what does GDP mean?
Yeah.
And the internet,
There you go. Have fun with that.
Yep. All right. I think we're done with this.
Yep.
Let's reveal. Oh, off you go. Do you see Jeff fly off then? Gone. Let's reveal whether or not. Oh, it's still a private company. Look at that.
Private company.
And there is Scrooge McDuck swimming in his coin lake. So
yep. And Donald's up there too. Look at that, right?
Yes.
And he with the blue hat.
A lot of well-known investors in Stripe. And interestingly, also American Express and Visa have both invested. So at least they've got some foresight into the fact that this might go there. I wonder whether, as Elon starts to think about X as being the app for everything, whether Stripe might be a core part of the work that he's going to do on X payments or whatever it's going to be called.
It's probably right there at the back end.
Just saying, at some point you're going to be able to buy things with X. It's
true. X and you won't even see it again. Stripe will be on the back end, but you'll be doing fancy fun things through X, paying for it, and then Stripe's taking care of your transactions.
You just don't know, do you? So.
Okay.
All right, let's do the tsunami. And then after the tsunami's finished, we're going to take a 4-minute break. And then we're going to come back and talk about cybersecurity careers, keeping skills fresh as market expectations change. And we're going to look at cloud security jobs, which, as you have said right at the beginning, the more products that we produce which are cloud born, the ability to understand cloud security and keep all that secure is going to become ever more important.
Yes.
So it'd be exciting.
Absolutely.
There's another OpenAI job looks swinging past there. So we'll look else. ResourceSoft, Zachary Piper, some good jobs in there.